Fortnite is making us all worse at the game we all used to love. Now, I know that's a bold statement, but honestly, just hear me out. Back in the olden days of Fortnite, we had one BR that we all played until Zero Build was introduced back in Chapter 3. But even then, it was the same map, same items, just one you could build and one you didn't. If you go back to the golden days of Fortnite, back when it first came out in 2017 and 2018, when it was really hitting that peak playtime, we actually had LTMs for game modes that introduced these cool different rules and cool different unique overpowered items, so that way it did not interfere with the regular VR mode. Nowadays, you have the casual players, you have the drones, you have the sweats, all coexisting on this VR map. But the unfortunate part is all these OP items are in this mode, and it quite frankly has the community torn. It has us torn so much that in the ranked game mode, they have to remove some of these items because they are too overpowered in the right person's hands in a game mode where eliminations and placement mean the world. If I'm being completely honest, sometimes I think Fortnite and Epic Games just really like to watch us all be in shambles mentally, because every time a new update drops or a new overpowered item comes into the game, all my social medias are just an entire mess of people loving it, hating it, calling each other out, and it's just utter and complete chaos at all times. But getting back to the main point of this video, if you remember that first sentence I said, Fortnite is making us all worse at the game. Now I know, I'm a nobody. You don't know who I am, but I would like to think of myself as a decent player.
You're not him.
But if I'm being completely honest, I've just recently stopped playing the regular BR, probably for the rest of the season, because it takes absolutely zero skill and zero talent to play now. Yeah, you have people that can do the cool jetpack slide, jump, slide, cancel thing like, Call of Duty has. Yeah, you have people who make insane plays all the time. You have people 1v1ing Dr. Doom and beating them easily. I'm not saying anything about those players. I'm simply just stating the regular BR takes practically no skill to play because of two certain items. Before we get into that, let's talk about last season. When Fortnite Chapter 5 was first introduced, we had no more hit scan weapons. We got offered a brand new map and a new way to play with these medallions, these bosses, and all these other kind of new mechanics to add to the game as well. But starting last season, things started to get a little weird. Last season, they had the super boss cars. You can upgrade your own cars into being pretty much a boss car. They had the crazy nitro fists that were capable of doing so much damage per second that it was actually insane. So much so that these two items, the cars and the fist, were nerfed so much that it didn't even make a difference because they were still that overpowered. Now, mind you, yeah, I guess you had to eliminate a boss to get the medallion and maybe fight who was ever at the POI to get this, but a lot of the times you landed there uncontested and you just got a free car. And then the nitro fist, which, to be completely honest, were a really cool mobility item, but the fact that you can do damage with these things and punch for 50 and then just keep spamming it, and you're just like teleporting if you're right next to somebody fighting them, and the shotgun can't even keep up with the damage per second, it got kind of a little much. So now that brings us to Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 4, and in this season we have more of the same. We'll start with one that got a pretty good nerf, and that's Captain America's shield. Captain America's shield can hit 4 opponents at the same time. And at the beginning of this season, it used to do 60 damage per hit. And if I'm being honest, you barely had to aim in the direction of the player. This shield would heat seek you around a tree and just absolutely end your life. Now, they did reduce the damage it did per hit, and they did make it more of an accuracy weapon. You couldn't just throw it and it would go find somebody. You actually had to kind of aim in the general direction of somebody. But even still, it's kind of annoying to fight. Not to mention War Machine's backpack that has a literal aimbot seeking AR that can do 20 damage per second. So now, mind you can do all the jetpack slide canceling you want. If this person has a jetpack and it's just simply following you, you're getting hit for 20 damage every second. It's a little ridiculous for something you don't even have to aim to use. And now with the most recent update, they added Iron Man items. We got 2 in particular. We got the boots, which could let you fly in the air, and it's actually pretty cool until you get shot and you're just spinning in air frozen because you don't just fall to the ground right away and you're just a sitting duck for all these drones to start shooting you. But they also added Iron Man's gauntlet gloves. Now, I don't think that's the right word for them, but to be quite frank, I don't really even care to look up the name for them because they cause me so much mental trauma. These are another talentless weapon that when you have equipped and you are using them to fight, they can do 30 damage per shot. They have unlimited ammo, just a slight cooldown time. And once again, as long as you are aiming in the general direction of somebody, they will lock onto that opponent and those thrusters will find you for 30 damage per shot. Even if you're in a bush or a car, these two items will find you and hit you because they are basically heat-seeking missiles that are locked on to your body and will just absolutely annihilate you and your team. Because let's do some quick math real quick. If the backpack does 20 damage about every second, and Iron Man's gauntlets do about 30 damage almost every second, that is 50 health per second-ish that your opponent is taking off of you, and they don't even have to do anything. Mind you, Fortnite's had all these issues in comp recently with all these cheaters and their aimbots and their rage hacks and all this. So the fact that they're kind of triggering the community by bringing these legal aimbot items into the game, I don't think was the best move. Because remember, I said not only drones are using this, good players are using this too. So if you find that person that's amazing at slide canceling with a jetpack and they have this backpack and the Iron Man gauntlets on that all do the work for them, you're not getting away. And they are absolutely destroying your life and making it look easy in the process because it's easy. But if you remember what I've said twice so far in this video, even the good players, Fortnite's making us worse at the game. All these most recent updates have honestly made the regular BR so unbearable. But you're probably watching this and you're probably in my comments going, just go play Reload, Shermanator, just go play Reload, Sherm, come on, go play Reload. There's literally a whole new game mode they made if you don't like the regular BR. You know what? You're absolutely right. There is a wonderful new game mode that Fortnite introduced called Reload, which will also be getting an update in the near future, which will introduce another map, and they will rotate every 30 minutes. So it's not the same stale one map we've been playing for the last couple months already. You know what, Timmy? That's a great idea. Let's go play some Reload. Hit scan ARs, OG loot pool. It feels nice for a change, right? Wrong. Because while I just gave you a lot of reasons why the regular BR could be very unbearable for some people who actually wish they could play a talented, kind of skillful game mode, Reload attracts every four-man team that thinks every game is worth $1 million. They are 3-2-1-ing solos they see in the open. They are 4-stacking stairwells and corners like they're SEAL Team 6, and they are just farming lobbies. So when these new players go to Reload and they get absolutely mollywopped by any of these sweaty squads, they go, you know what? Let me go use the aimbot weapons in BR, which again, is just making you worse at the game. It is just a vicious cycle that keeps going and going and going. Because again, if you were lucky to play Fortnite when it first came out and it was really in its true peak up until right after COVID, you understand what I'm talking about here. Everybody had the same item. None of the items really did the work for you. We only had a few items that were considered really stupid, like the mech, but for the most part, it was actually a skillful game. Nowadays, it seems like Fortnite really only cares about making collabs with TikTok dances, random artists and musicians, putting in talentless weapons to appease the masses, and many more frustrating things. But while this video may seem like a negative thing, we do hopefully have some positives to look forward to in the future. Fortnitemares 2024 is coming to Fortnite, and apparently Jigsaw, the little creepy murderous puppet, is going to be in there, which honestly I thought was too dark for Fortnite, but I'm all for it. We have OG Chapter 2 coming back after the conclusion of Season 4 of Chapter 5, and to start the year, we have the brand new Fortnite Chapter 6, and who knows what this is going to bring us. So hopefully in these next 3 months, because as I'm filming this video, this is September 2024. So by January 2025, all this should have happened and been happening currently. Hopefully we can get an equal love for BR and Reload without really thinking too negatively of one game mode. So with all that being said, this is still a game I love, and there is still so much potential for this great, amazing game that we've all been playing for the last 7 years. But will Epic capitalize on it? Who knows?